Played a couple of press defenses. How does this one at LSU does stack up with the predecessors?
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, they're definitely a man coverage team. Similar in a lot of ways to Missouri and some of their defensive structures, and they're definitely going to try to get up in your face and press you. They got some really good corners, good DBs. Their nickel's a heck of a player, so it's definitely going to be a challenge for us.
When you don't have guys just kind of sitting in zones wide open, like how do you coach up Will to, throw guys open?
Yeah, that's something that definitely can come alive. It's not always going to be perfectly designed as how it might work in a game, and at the end of the day, it's just about him feeling more comfortable to play a little bit, not outside of the scheme, but hey, it might not be exactly the perfect throw or perfect exactly how it was supposed to open up, but you can definitely create different throwing windows by throwing people open.
Are there any updates on Josh?
I haven't heard anything that I'm aware of right now. I think he's still trying to get some rehab, and I haven't heard anything personally.
Whether or not he plays or not, is there still a need for Will to find someone else besides just Wandale to? For
sure. I think we got a few guys, ready to step up this week, and Isaiah Cummings is a guy we got to continue to get involved, and I think Isaiah Epps and those guys just got to. It's going to be a big week no matter what happens with Josh, and I do think the other guys will have to step up when their number's called.
You were 1 for 8, I think, in third down efficiencies. Was it just a matter of getting behind the chains, or what do you
Some
think?
of those third and longs, the first third down of the game, we had a good play that we had, dialed up, and we just ended up kind of messing with the read, messed the read up a little bit, and tried to get back to it later on, and they got it fixed on defense. So that's going against a good coach. And also, their philosophy was to drop in the cover 2 and play zone and drop 8, and that's tough when you do get a little bit of penetration at times, and I got to come up with some better play calls against cover 2. But that was something that we were expecting in some of the shorter windows, but not as much as they played in the longer windows. They typically were playing a lot of man, so some of those play calls might not have matched some of the coverage structures that they were playing.
How much more can you do to get the running back involved? I know Coen was out there a little bit.
Yeah.
And Smoke, doing some of the stuff he did on Saturday.
Yeah. We had the one to him on our sideline, where it was, the swing route, that it's just a communication thing, the details of a route and how you're supposed to be there, and Will's expecting in the exact spot, and at the end of the day, we got to make that throw and catch between the two of them. We got to get it done. And then we missed him again on another swing route earlier in the game. So we did try to get him a little bit more involved, and it wasn't really a man game, so that matchup wasn't exactly what we were looking for with that. But, this week definitely those guys need to come alive.
What can Jatan do that maybe the other guys don't necessarily do?
He's very similar in a lot of ways to some of those other guys like Mike, Drennan, and Smoke in some ways, that he's a very good runner, capable of sticking his foot in the ground and getting vertical, but he's also got very good hands and knows how to run routes. This spring he helped us out in a ton of pass game and things like that. So, hey, just trying to get those guys involved more and more each week as much as they can handle.
In recruiting, is it as easy as saying for these receivers who Mark has made it pretty clear he's sending that message the last couple of days, look at what Wandale's doing, and we can do that with the rest of the offense when it clicks? Or how do you sell that message when you're not maybe clicking the way you want to?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you feel good about winning, and that helps. And when you are trying to be more balanced in the pass game, and you are at least getting your best player the ball, I think other guys can see that and be like, hey, look, if we can get more of that, continuity and chemistry in the pass game with whether it be players, recruits, guys in our program already, everybody sees his success and they want to try to step their game up to try to match that. So I think it can only be helpful, I think.
You early in the year said you just felt good, maybe 5, 6, 7 of those guys. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but it seems like it's more like 3 or 4 that are kind of out there and receiving.
Yeah, you feel good about them being on the field, and playing and taking reps, and it's just, they also got to get open and make plays and be in the exact spots that they're supposed to be on every single play. And obviously you want to try to spread the ball around and get guys included and involved, but they've also got to make sure they're in the right spots and open and can win a versus man coverage. And there's a reason why one gets a lot of touches, because he does a lot of those things.
Game planning, is there any other reason need for when they try to shut Wandale down with double coverage?
Yeah,
Other
I
than
mean,
grabbing and all that.
yeah, that happened a few times actually Saturday night. He got grabbed on 2 of them that, it's touch and go, how that stuff works. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. And it's definitely going to be an emphasis in terms of some people trying to double them. We need to make sure we have other playmakers involved in the game plan that can also step up and make some plays, whether it be from the tight end position, the running back position, or another wide receiver stepping up to try to make some plays. But as of right now, haven't seen it, but they did double them actually on 1 3rd down early in the game. We actually ran the screen to Jatan. It got stuffed. They didn't rush, but they actually did double him on that play. That was the first time we had truly seen Wandell get doubled.
Typically, we talk about guys with homecoming games or something. With Dare, it's playing against his former team. Do you got to coach him up, coach him down, do anything different for this?
Nah, he's a mature kid. I mean, he's friends with all those guys. I mean, I think there's a ton of respect between he and his former teammates, and I think that's just going to be a competitive, fun atmosphere for those guys playing against each other. I know he has a ton of respect for those guys there. I've read some of the comments that those guys have made about him at media day, and you can tell there's a real mutual respect, and guys that he probably loves and is friends with that will definitely amp up the competition for sure.
Well, how do you feel about your offensive line's pass blocking so far? How's that playing?
It's been solid. I mean, it's not like we've been getting just blown up. I mean, that's something that this past week Florida had very good edge rushers, and I mean, when you hold on to the ball for more than 2 hitches, it's not typically a recipe for success in the drop back pass game, especially in 3rd and longer situations. So I've been pleased, to be honest. I mean, yeah, can we clean some things up and be a little bit more firm in some instances? But for what we're doing, in those longer windows when you get sacked, I mean, that's decision timing, DTA we call it, decision timing and accuracy. And the ball's got to get out a little bit sooner in some of those instances for sure.
Liam, you're 5-0, and I think you'll be the first to admit that you haven't played nearly as well as you possibly can.
No doubt.
What does that say? I mean, is
weird,
that just
man.
good coaching? Or
No, definitely not. It's really good players. I mean, the one thing that after 5 games, you evaluate where you're at and where you're going. And I couldn't be more happy and proud of the way that these guys have played. And it's going to click. I keep telling you, it's going to click. It's clicked in times. You've shown flashes in multiple different games, different situations, whether it be red zone, 3rd down. We've been very good, and we've also haven't been very good. And when it does click, it's going to be special. And just stay the course, it's going to click. And when you're 5-0, it is tough, but it's actually better for us because we're not sitting there 5-0 like we're just all good. We're sitting there 5-0 hungry to get it right.
When you look at LSU and their defense, what do you look at in terms of how it could be a challenge for you in terms of
their 2 interior D linemen are very good. Number 92 and 94 are very good football players. Their Mike linebacker, number 18, is a heck of a player. He was all SEC last week player in the league, and he gets those guys lined up. He plays with incredible intensity. He's violent. I really enjoy watching him play. It's really cool to watch a kid play like that. And obviously Stingley at corner is one of the best corners in the country. So there's definitely a challenge from a personnel standpoint, but also from a scheme standpoint with how they try to get up in your grill and play man coverage and basically say, dare you to throw it in a lot of instances. But at the end of the day, we're still going to try to be us, run the football, try to be a little bit more efficient on 1st down than we were last week. I think that was a big issue for us. And, just try to get after these guys. But it's a really good defense for sure.